Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're doing something a bit different. We're stepping away from, the usual run and gun meta.
Yeah, definitely a change of pace.
We're diving headfirst into this world of like high-flying wuxia martial arts.
Yeah.
But it's packaged inside a battle royale. The game is Naraka Bladepoint.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's unpack this. Our mission today is figuring out what exactly makes this title tick. How does it stand out when there's so many shooters in the BR space?
It's a crowded field, for sure.
We've got info on its cultural background, its combat, which is really unique, and a revival system that seems to flip the script on risk. We really need to get why this game, this high-skill game, hit it big globally.
Right. Well, to start, it is free to play now. Developed by 24 Entertainment, published by Needy's Games Montreal. But the identity, like you said, that's key.
Okay.
We call it Naraka Bladepoint, but its core is wuxia action. The original Chinese names, Sekyu or Seka, pronounced kind of like Yinji Wujian. They make that super clear.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So that context matters.
Absolutely. It tells you right away this isn't your standard Western BR setup. It sets a different expectation.
Blade clashes, not bullet storms.
Mm.
So the basic idea is familiar, though, like 60 players drop in.
Yeah, up to 60 players, last one standing or last team standing. That part is classic Battle Royale.
But the moment-to-moment, how you actually play, that's where it diverges massively.
Totally. The defining thing here is the focus on martial arts, melee combat. It swaps out quick aiming and shooting for timing, for positioning, and really learning this layered combat system.
So if you ditch the typical run-and-gun pace, what fills that void? What replaces that chaos? Here's where it gets really interesting.
Close quarters skill, that's the replacement.
It's not about who spots who first from a mile away.
Not usually, no. It's more about who can outthink, who can outmaneuver the other person when you're right there, blade swinging.
Okay, and that brings us to the combat system itself. You mentioned it's layered.
Deeply. It's based on what some sources call an amplified rock, paper, scissors mechanic. Honestly, mastering this is mastering the game.
Rock, paper, scissors. Okay, hang on. What does that mean in terms of, swords and spears? What are the elements?
Think of 3 basic moves in a close fight. You've got your standard, quick, horizontal attacks. Normal swings.
Got it. Fast attacks. Then you have vertical attacks. These are usually charged focus attacks. They power right through those standard horizontal swings.
Okay, so charge beats spamming light attacks. What beats the charge?
That's the third part. A well-timed parry. If you predict that charged vertical attack and hit the parry, you counter it. And counter it how? Just block it.
Oh, much better than that. A successful parry often disarms or stuns the opponent, leaving them wide open for a massive punish. It completely flips the situation.
Whoa. Okay, so if I just swing wildly with horizontal attacks.
A smart player will charge up a vertical attack right through it and hit you hard.
But if I try to use that powerful vertical charge.
They might predict it, hit the parry, and suddenly I'm the one in trouble. Big trouble.
Right, so it's like this constant mind game. You can't just mash buttons.
Not at all. You fail fast doing that. You're always reading the opponent. Are they going to parry? Are they panicking and just swinging? That split-second choice, that's where the skill really lies.
That sounds incredibly intense, especially when you add in all the different weapons. It's not just one sword type.
Oh, no. Huge variety. Great swords, katanas, long swords, spears, daggers, plus ranged options like bows, cannons, muskets, repeaters. Loads.
And you have to know the rock, paper, scissors for all of them. Or does it work the same?
The core RPS mechanic, horizontal vertical parry, that's the foundation across all melee weapons. The timing might differ slightly, the reach, the specific combos, but the basic principle holds.
Okay, that makes sense. And you mentioned movement earlier. How does that tie in?
Ah, yes. The grappling hook. This is huge. It's not just a way to get around.
Like climbing buildings.
Yes, but way more integrated into combat. It gives you this incredible verticality and control over your position that you just don't see in most other BRs.
How so? I mean, I've seen clips.
Yeah.
People seem to use it during fights.
Exactly. You can use it to interrupt an enemy's attack string, swing right over their head to attack from behind, or instantly close the distance if someone tries to run.
Or escape yourself, I guess.
Absolutely. It's the ultimate tool for engagement and disengagement. In a melee-focused game, the hook means fights are rarely static. You can back off, heal, maybe take a range shot, then zip right back into melee range from an unexpected angle.
It keeps things really dynamic then.
Yeah.
Aggressive and fluid.
Precisely. It prevents fights from just becoming standoffs. And what's fascinating here is, well, how well this all worked commercially. You'd think a high-skill melee game might be niche, but nope.
Right. especially competing against all those shooters.
Yeah.
But the numbers tell a different story, even before it went free.
Definitely. So the timeline. It launched first on Windows, August 2021.
Okay, PC first.
Then the console rollout started. Xbox Series X and S got it in June 2022. Then Xbox One later that year, December 22.
Steady rollout.
But the big moment, arguably, was July 13th, 2023. That's when the PlayStation 5 version dropped. And that's the exact same day they flipped the switch and made the whole game free to play across all platforms.
Ah, okay. Now, sometimes going free to play means a game's struggling, right? Trying to get players back. Was that the situation here?
Not even close. Our sources are clear on this. By the time it hit PS5 and went free to play, Naraka had already sold over 6 million copies globally.
6 million. While it was still a paid game on PC and Xbox.
Yep. 6 million paid copies. That really shows there was this huge kind of underserved audience wanting a BR that wasn't just about shooting. They wanted skill, movement, something different.
That's actually pretty staggering. People were paying up front for this VREXIRA melee experience. Okay, so let's shift to the game itself. Where did these fights happen? The maps.
The main locations, the islands, are called Morris Island, Halaroth, and Predoria. They're designed with that grappling hook mobility in mind. Lots of verticality, different environments.
And the modes are standard BR fare.
Pretty much. You can queue up solo, just you against everyone else. Or in duos or trios. Maximum 60 players in a match.
Okay. And then you pick your character, your hero. That seems like a big choice.
Huge choice. There are over 22 of them now. Each one feels quite distinct, fitting different roles or playstyle.
And they have unique abilities, right? Not just different stats.
Correct. Every hero has two main skills. There's the F skill, which is usually sort of a utility move, maybe a quick dash, a temporary shield, a small heal. It's on a fairly short cooldown.
Like a tactical ability.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's the ultimate. This charges up much more slowly, usually through fighting or interacting with things on the map.
And that's the big one.
That's the potential game changer. Ultimates can be massive area attacks, powerful buffs for your team, transformations, major crowd control. They can really define a fight, especially late game.
And you can tweak these.
Yeah, there's customization. You can select different talents for each hero, which can modify how the F skill or the ultimate works, maybe change its effect, lower the cooldown, that kind of thing.
So even two people playing the same hero might have slightly different builds for team strategy.
Exactly right. Adds another layer of depth, especially in trios.
Okay, so that strategic thinking starts right at the beginning. When the match starts, you pick where to land.
Yep, you choose a spawn point on the map. If you're in duos or trios, your teammates can choose to follow you and land together, or they can pick their own spots and spread out.
Is there a better strategy? Stick together or spread out?
Depends. Spreading out lets you maybe cover more ground, loot different areas faster, but you're vulnerable, alone. Landing together is safer initially, but maybe you're competing for the same limited loot in one spot.
Trade-offs. And those first few minutes are just pure scramble.
Total scramble, you need everything. Weapons, obviously. Armor for protection, health items, and critically you need those grappling hook charges. You find them as loot.
Right, the hook isn't unlimited. So you're looting, trying to gear up, try not to get ambushed immediately. Then the circle comes into play.
Yeah.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the standard BR mechanic is there. They call it shadow corruption spreading. The safe zone shrinks. Random center point pushing everyone closer together. Gotta watch that timer.
Standard stuff, but I heard there are other things happening mid-match, like random events.
Yeah, they throw in these in-round events to kind of shake things up, keep it from getting too slow in the mid-game.
Like what?
Could be several things. Sometimes the game will put a bounty on a specific player, kill them for a reward, or you might get marked, and then everyone in the lobby can see your location for a while. Super dangerous, but maybe you get a reward for surviving.
High risk, high reward.
Exactly. Or sometimes there are these stat cues you can find and interact with, like praying. It might give you a temporary buff, but you're stuck standing still for a few seconds, totally vulnerable.
Forces you to make risky plays, even if you wanted to hide. Okay, but let's talk about dying. Because the revival system sounds really different here. Oh, it's one of the most unique aspects, I think. It really changes how you approach fights, especially early on. It's got multiple layers.
Okay, break it down for me. Layer 1.
Layer 1 is pretty standard. You get hit enough, you go into a knockdown state. If a teammate reaches you quickly, they can revive you. Takes a few seconds. If they don't get there in time, or you get hit again while down,
Then you're properly dead.
Then you're properly dead and you turn into a cairn.
Which is basically the loot box with all your gear.
Exactly. Your stuff's all there for the taking. That's pretty standard BR stuff.
Okay, so what's different? Layer 2.
Layer 2 is the game changer, especially early on. Here's the deal. If you die, fully die, become a cairn before the first wave of shadow corruption starts shrinking the map.
Before the first circle moves.
Right. You actually get a chance to come back. There are these things called soul altars scattered around the map. If you, in your sort of soul form after dying or a living teammate, can reach one of these altars and interact with it, you respawn. Back in the fight.
Wait, fully back, with gear.
Back on the map, ready to fight. You usually come back with some basic gear. Not everything you had, but you're alive.
That's huge.
Right.
That's like a free life early game.
Pretty much. It means those chaotic first few minutes, landing hot, fighting over loot. It's much less punishing if you lose. You know you probably have a second chance.
So it encourages aggression right away.
Yeah.
Take risks.
Absolutely. Why not go for that high-tier loot spot? Why not take that early fight? The penalty for losing is significantly reduced before that first corruption wave hits. It really promotes a faster, riskier start to the match.
Okay, that completely changes the usual BR dynamic of playing super safe early on. But that safety net disappears later.
It does. Once that first shadow corruption starts spreading, the soul altars don't work for revival anymore. That's when layer 3 kicks in, but only for duos and trios.
Okay, what's layer 3?
If a teammate dies later in the game, after the first corruption wave, they can still be brought back, but it costs resources. There are these special locations called rift dealers, basically buy stations.
Like in Warzone or Apex?
Kind of, yeah. You collect currency during the match, mostly from looting and getting kills. If you have enough cash, you can go to a rift dealer and buy your dead teammate back into the game.
So even mid to late game, wiping one member of a squad doesn't mean they're out for good?
Nope. Unless you manage to kill the whole squad, or maybe loot all their money so they can't afford the buyback, there's always a chance they can regroup by using the rift dealer.
Wow. So team fights have to be really decisive. You need to finish the job, maybe even camp the rift dealer.
Or at least be aware that they can come back. It keeps the pressure on. It means squads can potentially recover from setbacks even late in the game. The combination of that intense melee, the crazy grappling hook movement, and this multi-layered revival system, it makes for some wild endgames.
Until finally, one squad is left. The top one team.
The top team. That's the goal.
So what does this all mean when you put it all together, Naraka? Bladepoint feels like.
Well, a really clever twist on the formula. It took the basic BR structure, 60 players, shrinking map, last team standing, but ripped out the core gameplay loop. Yeah, ripped it out and replaced it.
Replaced it with this technical, timing-heavy Wuxia combat. Added the grappling hook for insane mobility, and then layered on this revival system that completely changes how you think about risk, especially early on.
And it clearly found an audience. A big one.
It really did. It proved the genre had room to grow beyond just being shooters. That success, selling millions before going free to play, that says a lot. It says people wanted this high-skill, maybe lower RNG alternative.
I think so. You know, if you miss a crucial headshot in a shooter, sometimes it feels like luck, or maybe your gear wasn't as good. If you miss a parry in Naraka, it feels much more like, well, you got outplayed. Your opponent read you correctly in that rock, paper, scissors moment.
It puts the focus squarely on player skill in that close quarters dance.
Exactly. That seems to be the core appeal. Okay, so here's something to think about, maybe for you listening. The game gives you that 30 net, the soul altars, but only before the first shadow corruption hits. How does that guarantee of an early do-over actually change player behavior right at the start? Compared to games where that first death is permanent, does this make players bolder? Do they drop into the most dangerous spots because they have that fallback? Or does the knowledge that everyone has a second chance make the early game even more chaotic and unpredictable? Does it change your own approach to risk versus reward when you first hit the ground? Something to chew on next time you're deciding where to land.